Morning, everybody. Okay, I'll just give a brief update on some projects that are going to be happening this year or we're already working on. So I mentioned this probably the last time I was here, but it's finally going to be put into motion. Our Beaver Creek wetlands, which sit close to the Montezuma Club Island wastewater treatment plant and the airport. We're going to be adding another lift station. The wetland there is fairly large, and the capacity we have to pump water right now, we can actually do more. So we were able to secure a federal Section 319 grant to install another lift station and pump and force main to double the treatment capacity there. We are currently have it out for bid, and we'll award that here probably sometime in April. And we're expecting completion in June or July, depending on the contractor. So excited to get that moving. I'm sure many of you have seen action happening at Prairie Creek. This is being funded by a H2 Ohio grant that we received several years ago. Our projects came in under budget, so we're able to add additional projects. But the purpose of this is to add capacity to the settling basin. So we have two areas where the water comes in from Prairie Creek. We were able to expand all that into one larger, deeper basin. It allows for many things. Prairie Creek was our original treatment train, so you just don't know what you don't know at the beginning. Having that deeper basin allows for sediment to settle out and stay in that one basin. So it's less maintenance long term, and it's easier to clean out when it comes time to do that again. We've already had to clean it out several times because those basins were just too shallow. And then we see that in the water quality data. That's why it's so important to test these on a weekly basis so we know what's happening inside our wetlands and what sort of maintenance needs to happen. The other thing we did out there was pull back our intake structure. Again, you don't know what you don't know, being the first project, and we had that intake structure right on the side of the bank of Prairie Creek. We get a lot of sand and silt into our lift station, which does not bode well for pumps. We spend a lot of money on pump repair each year. In fact, this year was $15,000 to repair both of our pumps. And we've had to do that every year the last 4 or 5 years. So we're hoping by doing this, we'll get less sand into our system. The other thing ODNR is going to do is come in and dredge this area as they move along that area with one of the dredges. So it'll probably be late May, early June to try to make sure we limit that amount of sand getting into our pump. Red Wing Nature Preserve, this was the new wetland on the north side of the lake in Auglaize County, just adjacent to the state park. I was stopped out there. It's starting to green up. There's some water, probably 6 inches or so in the bottom of the wetlands. So the only thing we have left to do is remove our silt fence and then start the pump up as soon as we think it's ready for that, and the weather's fit and we see the vegetation coming up. We are talking to ODNR about walking paths out there, so that will be in discussion this year. I think Dave Failer might be working with an Eagle Scout about possibly placing a bridge over that little creek so we can connect the existing Red Wing Nature Trail to this site and extend that walking path. Future projects, I think there was an article in the paper a few weeks ago about this Harmon Preservation Project. We purchased, the LFA purchased land last year in Auglaize County near Rustic Haven. I'm working on funding. I submitted a Section 319 grant, and then I actually met with ODNR's H2 Ohio team out there this week, hoping that we can get that funded by the middle of this year and know where our path leads on funding, and then start on engineering and construction next year. So we will be pumping water from Barnes Creek into this wetland system. So that's basically the last feeder creek that doesn't have a wetland on it. So we're kind of excited to get this project going. Wanted to briefly touch on some H2 Ohio things. This report came out, I want to say just in the last few weeks. It's actually a really cool report. You can Google it, look it up. It was done by the Nature Conservancy and Earth Economics, but it was looking at the impact of the H2 Ohio program in Ohio, specifically the wetlands program and then the ag practices program. And this is just the executive summary of that report, but it's saying that the wetlands program is returning $8 in public value for every dollar spent. And then the ag program is returning about a little over $2 for every dollar spent. So it's kind of a cool report. I think shows the value and importance of the H2 Ohio program. Also threw this slide in here too. This is specific to the ag practices. Mercer County has a very strong participation in the H2 Ohio program. And I'll be perfectly honest, a lot of the farmers that participate are in Grand Lake St. Mary's watershed. They're doing the nutrient management, and a lot of them are enrolled in the cover crop program. We have a very nice participation in the cover crop program. I think we see a lot of green fields out there in the watershed, so that's a good thing. But this is a really great program, and we hope to keep it rolling. You can kind of see the stats there. We got 71,000 acres enrolled in the program in Mercer County, and the different practices that they're involved in. I wanted to briefly mention Mercer Soil and Water has their tree sale pickup coming up April 7th. So you can pick up after 2 p.m. on that day, or April 8th or 9th if you've ordered trees. I'd like to point out this is what AI thinks a tree is. I'm not sure what that is, but that's not a tree. So. And last but not least, this is the toxin data from the Salina Water Treatment Plant updated to this week. I believe it was 4.8 there at the intake this week. You can kind of see we've been up and down with the up and downs of this winter that we had. I know we had some heavy ice cover, but we really didn't have heavy ice cover for terribly long, even though it seemed like a really awful winter. So hopefully we see good progress on that this year too, and I will take any questions if you have them. Yes, sir.
Just curious, with all the support from the local community on doing these improvements, how is the relationship been with the state applying for grants and that? Do they really see the local involvement and the local, I mean, it seems like they're working pretty well with, they're well aware of what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. We are in front of our state directors, and every month we try to meet with them. They're well aware of what needs done now. I mean, the support, I think, has lagged off a little bit over the last couple years, and I think that's probably because the focus is on Lake Erie and other places more than necessarily Grand Lake. But I think we do a pretty good job of trying to stay in front of them and let them know that, hey, yeah, we've made progress here, but we're not done yet either, so we need to keep things going. I'm really hopeful that H2 Ohio, which is ODNR, will fund that wetland project over there on Barnes Creek so we can keep things moving. I mean, we have other options for funding, but H2 Ohio is a really good program, and their administrator there said, you know, what a great story they could tell through the H2 Ohio program that, you know, they funded the last treatment train on the last creek in Grand Lake. So I think it's positive. Any other questions?
Theresa, that Beaver Creek will hopefully produce over 1 million gallons or 1 billion gallons of water a year.
Yeah, so by adding that lift station at Beaver Creek, we'll be able to pump another 500,000 gallons per day there. So the hope that Stephen has, last year we pumped just shy of 750 million gallons throughout the season. He's hoping we hit that billion this year. And I think we should with our improvements at Prairie Creek, Beaver Creek, and then, you know, the new Chickasaw Creek wetland being online and all those good things happening. Our monitoring program is going to be much more robust this year because we locally, the Lake Restoration Commission, is going to be funding all of the monitoring for a lot more wetlands H2 Ohio was funding a lot of those in the past, and they're not doing that anymore, so we've kind of picked that up, and we'll have some more real-time data on other wetlands that maybe we haven't talked about than our big four that we have. Yes?
On Fleetfoot, I can't remember the name of the actual one, the small
Yep.
treatment there, what's happening there?
So that's just, we call that our Rosenbeck Nature Preserve. We haven't got a sign out there yet. Actually, Stephen is going to be doing some monitoring on that this year, but that one is taking water from a tile and from a surface culvert. There's no water being pumped there. It's a 1 acre wetland. The whole site in total is 8 acres. It was kind of one of those things where, you know, the land wasn't selling, and they kind of came to us and said, are you interested? And we're like, well, yeah, with its proximity right there along Coldwater Creek, I think it makes a nice little area, but it's not going to have a huge impact, but it's a nice space. People, I think, utilize it for walking, and we're going to see what it does as far as water quality too this year. So
There's nothing pumping out of
No.
Coldwater Creek, it's all
Nope.
tile and,
no, yeah. I mean, the site just wasn't big enough to justify the expense of a pump.
sure.
Yeah.
Just curiosity.
Yep. Nope, good question. We do have, everything's online on grandlaketrails.com. We'll try to keep that updated, but it has, you know, pins to every wetland site that has trails, and it's available to the public. So feel free to check that out. It's a great asset to have that online now.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Thank you very much.